Right, shed guy here, Fobco 7/8 drill, oil sight glass, hopeless, couldn't see through it. So I needed to buy a new sight glass. Outside diameter was 26.4 and it had 14 threads per inch on it. So what you call a wacky size. Anyway, turns out oil eyesight glasses come in G size threads, and the G threads are the same as BSPP, British Standard Pipe Parallel. I didn't know that, so I bought the wrong size eyeglass. That's a G1, which is bigger. Then I bought a small one. This is an eBay one. That's a G1/2. So I finally got my right size on eBay, a G3/4. And once I knew I had the right size, it's a cheapo eBay and it works quite well. I then went and bought a fancy one from these boys, which has got a fancy reflector in it. So oil sight glasses come in G size threads. Who knew? So I'm going to pop that back on. Without the reflector you don't see oil as easily, but with the reflector it shines up quite nice. So that's a doozy, looks real sweet. I'll fill the oil up, which fills up from the top. I'll show you that and go from there. The Fobco, quite handy. It is bolted to the floor, by the way, because you can spin the head round. There we go. That's your lock on the column, and you can drop the head down by just undoing this sleeve, coming down over. So it can come, the whole unit can drop right down. I've dropped it, I don't know, 4 inches from the top as it is, just so it's a nice height to work. Right, the oil filler is in here, so I'll bring you in and we'll see if we can fill that oil. Alright, so right up at the top of the Fobco, in here is your oil fill. Alright. Right, well I'm not sure how much I thought this through, but that's how we're going to fill it. Through a funnel, through a hose pipe, with oil. That's quite high up, this, so you won't see me put the oil in. So there we go, just slowly filling up to the level. Oil sight glasses, G threads. But at least I can see there's oil in the sucker now. Love it. So just for comparison, without the reflector on a black background, you can see your red dot. It's okay, it's not great. As soon as you get the reflector in, quite impressive. This reflector is cheap and cheerful eBay type. That's your fancy burger tools, and with your cheap and cheerful you can just pull your reflector off if you don't want it. Right, oil sight glasses done. Corner of the kitchen table's busted, been busted before, and there's a couple of little screws being put in, or pins or something, but it's failed. So what I'm going to do is drill it out, dowel it, and then glue it back in, probably with epoxy, only because it feels like that's what's on there now. Proper wood glue isn't going to soak in. I need something that's going to be good and hard. So I'm going to drill it for a dowel, and then drill the table for a dowel. Great drill, but probably the noisiest cordless drill on the market. It's not a great claim, is it? So that'll take a pretty thick dowel, and not pushing that in there. We'll go and mark the table up. Right, so I need to transfer that hole to the table. So take a piece of dowel with a Japanese razor saw, it says. That's a superb thing though. Now drill a hole down the middle of this, screw goes in, piece goes in here. You can work that out from there. Right. Alright. So we've put a hole in it. Exceptional use of a Smart and Brown tool room lathe, I would have said. Okay. There you go. And we'll be able to push that on, make a mark. Off we go. Okay, so there she be. Oh, half broken off screws there. That's where we want the end to go. Okay, well, we've marked that up pretty well. What I'll do now is I'll get my drill and we'll drill that out. Okay, so up close like this, I reckon my drill chuck is going to foul on here and make a mess. So I'm going to pick up the hole and pilot it with the old twister. See if that looks about right. Okay, just going up a size there. Very good. Even my small chuck fouls. So, it's a big drill. That's the battery cane, so might give it another go with a different battery. Yeah, I will. I do find the RYOB greedy on the battery, so get a big boy battery for it and you should be good. Right, well, it does look brutal, doesn't it? Okay. Alright, so we're taking a depth on this side, 19,
35. So I've got plenty of room. Got plenty of room for my dowel to go in. Happy days. We'll support the underside of this so that we get it lined up. Put a block underneath there just to support the job. Right, well, my clamp was going to be in mid-air there, so I'll have to put a bit of protection. This is just a soft draw line, a spare one, on the tabletop. So that I've got something to clamp my my piece to. Secure that. Right, that's not going anywhere. Okay. So worst comes to worst, I'll have glued some parchment paper to my table. Well, I didn't go straight for glue because I have a tradition of making a simple job complex. Of course I do. So I've cut out a better holding piece. So now I've got a bit of flex, I can run my piece in, glue it, and then clamp blocks here and here. Yeah, well, that's all my that's all I've got left of the Aerodite. So we're on the remains of the Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue. So, number one, we'll put the dowel in. We've got a good area here, so here for there will be good. Right. That doesn't feel like it wants to go at all. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So far, so good. That looks good. So I'd have thought that would hold, those clamps would hold that piece in place, but they're not really. So we'll clamp it differently. So I'm throwing a clamp over the end and right. go. Alright, now that puts extreme pressure on there. And I've closed up as much as I want to close it up. So I'm sort of thinking I'm there on that. Okay, so there it is, the corner piece put back on. I should have said the Gorilla Glue, that's impressive because that was not set at the bottom of the tub like other brands. And it's because they've got this lid that you just push forward, squeeze out what you want, and then close it, and it does an airtight seal. So the Gorilla Glue, in fact I'll keep that as a spare, absolutely great product, right to the bottom of the pot. Okay, well, we're a few days later now, and fair enough, it is what it is, half decent. Somehow the space in my shed got worse. So we've been making hooks to dangle things from the ceiling. So I'm going to make another hook. I'll show you what I do. I couldn't buy them from the farm store or from the builders merchants. Right, so I'll start with a long deck screw, cut the top off, and then we'll go and heat it, bend it into a hook. Right, we've got a 1mm cut off disc in the old angle grinder, eh? Or she be. So now we're good to heat. Alright, so I've got the old oxy propane torch. Pretty good price, don't know what they cost, but actually does very well. It doesn't take much propane. Or oxygen. That'll soon heat up. So I didn't fancy an oxyacetylene torch because I worried about the cost of renting the cylinders and this and that and the other. So it makes quite a decent size hook with a good thread on it. I'll go and quench that. This is the oxypropane setup. There's regulators on both lines, flash arresters both lines. There's plenty of hose and a good handpiece there. And this came from the welder's warehouse. And you can buy this as just a full kit from them. So no messing around, full kit, job done.
we've got a standard propane tank that you can get from anywhere, and the oxygen came from Hobby Weld, who were really helpful, and they're all over the place. So easy to get, easy to set up, highly recommended. Thank you very much for watching, appreciate it. I'm done. I'm going that way. Shed guy gone.